Classified. Hillary Clinton's Epstein deposition is briefly halted after Boebert photo leak. CHPPAQA-NY. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton appeared before the Republican-led House Oversight Committee Thursday for a closed-door deposition as part of its ongoing congressional investigation into the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Testify the session, the first of 2 days of testimony that will include former President Bill Clinton, was temporarily interrupted when a photograph from inside the private hearing was circulated on social media. Clinton spent more than 6 hours under oath answering lawmakers' questions in the wooded suburb north of New York City, repeatedly asserting that she had no knowledge of Epstein's or his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal activities, and that she could not recall ever meeting Epstein. Her remarks matched the opening statement she shared publicly and were delivered in response to intensive questioning from the committee. The brief halt occurred around midday after Republican Rep. Lauren Boebert, herself a member of the oversight panel, photographed Clinton during the deposition and passed the image to a conservative influencer who posted it on X, formerly Twitter. The committees agreed upon protocols for the closed-door session prohibit photography or the distribution of images from inside the hearing room, and the unexpected leak of the photo prompted lawmakers to pause proceedings while they worked to determine the situation. Boebert later defended the incident, saying the image was harmless, while Clinton's team described the breach as very upsetting. Lawmakers ultimately resumed the deposition, but the episode amplified calls from Democrats for greater transparency in the process, including making live or public the full transcript and video of the testimony. Clinton denies Epstein connections and criticizes partisan focus. Throughout her testimony, Clinton declined to provide any incriminating information about alleged connections to Epstein. She rejected suggestions that she had been involved with his crimes, stating unequivocally that she did not know Epstein personally, never flew on his private jet, and never visited his properties, according to statements released after the session. Clinton also voiced frustration with what she described as partisan lines of questioning, telling reporters afterward that she believed some inquiries went far beyond the scope of the investigation into Epstein's network and instead veered into unfounded or fringe topics, including conspiracies such as Pizzagate and UFOs. Speaking outside the Chappaqua Performing Arts Center, in Intensified, Clinton reiterated that she had nothing material to contribute about Epstein's crimes and accused Republican lawmakers of focusing their attention on her rather than other figures whose involvement with Epstein remains under scrutiny. Political backdrop and what's next. The deposition of a former Secretary of State and presidential nominee has drawn intense media and political scrutiny, not just because of Clinton's stature, but also because it marks the first time a former president and first lady have been compelled by Congress to provide sworn testimony in such a context. Former President Bill Clinton is scheduled to be deposed on Friday as part of the same investigation. Committee leaders, including Chairman Rep. James Comer, have maintained that the purpose of the inquiry is to gain fuller insight into Epstein's wealth, influence, and ties to powerful individuals, not to accuse the Clintons of wrongdoing. At the same time, Democrats have called for the full release of deposition materials and urged lawmakers to focus on a broader review of Epstein-related documents, including files that Republicans say are relevant to public interest. The unusual disruption caused by the leaked photo underscores the high-stakes political environment surrounding the hearing, one in which procedural disputes and media narratives now loom as large as the substantive questions about what Congress can learn from the expansive trove of material known as the Epstein files.